Leon Muller, icon, hero, trailblazer, the first colored chief photographer of the Cape Argus. I refer to Leon and de Klerk as the trailblazers, the unsung heroes of the photojournalism past. The Jack Extraordinaire, de Klerk, Leon Muller, Clarence Muller. And those are the guys that actually they paved the way. They're the trailblazers. They started this and opened it up for all of us. So now we could come in and actually be allowed, and we got into the Joshua. But to just conclude, one of our youngest photographers, he couldn't be here today. David Zichi sent me this message. Now, Leon was one of the mentors to some of these youngsters. There's Ayanda and Damani also there. And together with the other giants, Andrew Ingram there, John Yao, Brendan Keach. Because the Argus photographers were always the best, and you know that in the world. I always say. And Leon, then they were there, sir. They made and built all of these things. So they would say, sorry I couldn't be at the Memorial Service today, but I'm in spirit there and in thought. I had the honor and privilege of working with Leon for a number of years at independent newspapers. He was a great friend, a wonderful mentor, and an all-round awesome person. Rest well, Leon, till we meet again. Last the job.
Shadi Chapper, he's in Bali at the moment, and he just wanted to share some words, and he asked me to read this for my dad. While on holiday with my family in Bali, I received the very sad news of the passing of my very dear friend Leon. This left me with a very heavy heart. We met at Cape Town in March, where I held my first job, and Leon and the late Ambrose Peters took modeling photos of me. We have been friends ever since for nearly 40 years now. The three of us never formally studied photography, but though God's will, we were very successful, professional, and we were employed at top newspaper houses. Leon had excellent photography skills and expertise. I have to admit that he was even better than me. He was a role model and proof of how far you could get if you work hard for what you want. He was a computer fundi, but humble enough to always share his knowledge with a less techno-savvy guy like myself. We travelled together locally in South Africa. In 2003, we went to the Rugby World Cup in Australia for our respective newspapers. There we stayed together with another friend of mine. When I retired 5 years ago, we became even closer friends. He visited me often, and we had many breakfasts together at my place and cafes. Lately, he was busy assisting me in putting together a photo book of my history as a photographer. But this will now have to be on hold. No one would ever have known he was ill. He always put on a brave and smiley face. Leon's legacy was as an excellent photographer will continue. His family can be very proud of him and his achievements. I will miss him dearly. And my dear friend, rest in peace.
When I joined the Argus in the late 70s, he was a real friend there, and he was this funky guy with this massive afro, tight pants, bell bottoms. He was a funky DJ, and he always used to play Zipping Up My Boots, and we actually started calling each other Boots, and from then on all the way through it was Boots, and that's how I remember him. Young, vibrant, funky, emotional, passionate guy and photographer.
I was a reporter on the first of all on the Times, and then also on the Argus. I wrote a lot on sailing and also on business. Leon, he was just somebody. He was there. He was strong. You know, he was an unusual person, and you kind of straight away, you knew this man was equal to all sorts of tasks. You know, and he didn't take any kind of nonsense in a sense. So, and he was just fun to be with. You know, he was straight talking, and yeah, he served. That's what he was about, I think. Yeah, for his family, I think it must be very, very awful, very sad. I mean, because he's still a young man. You know, I'm a decade and more older than he is, and yeah, that's sad. But like sometimes our allotted span is less than we would like. But there we go. So long as we live it well, that's the important thing. And I think you gave a good man to our community.
I was a journalist while Leon was on the desk, and I just remember him always as being this like man, very kind, warm man who would always just like give you like random advice even on anything. He was the same like every time I saw him at the desk, just the same warm man, like every day you saw him, no ups and downs. So yeah, he was just very kind, very wise, and he was easy sharing his knowledge all the time. So that's how I remember him.
You know, Leon was a leader, but he was in his space when he was out there shooting, up front and shooting, bang bang.
Muller, a colleague with whom I've been at the coalface for several decades, of building a narrative of the South Africa that was and the South Africa that could be. At every instance, Leon would be there. There are hundreds of stories where in my narrative, in my headline or in my news piece, his photos would appear. He's been my brother, my comrade, my friend. Mostly he's my Buddha, a mentor in the true sense. And from this bra, from the Cape Flats, who was born in Bonteheuwel, grew up in Athlone, in the salon. At every instance, he had the photograph that could match every line. And I do believe I had true economy with my words, and as such, he had true economy with his pictures. Those pictures match my words, and I salute a true hero of our craft. Salute.
The thing that I remember about Leon is his unbelievable steadiness and his good nature in no matter how tough the day's work got and no matter how much was demanded of him, he always had the most sunny disposition and he always delivered. So he was a wonderful colleague and a wonderful human being. I'm going to miss him.
I joined the Argus in '88, and Leon was one of those people that I really looked up to. I studied those photographers, I studied what they did. I knew all of their work intimately because I wanted to be like them. And Leon, for me, court and cricket, nobody could touch him on either of those things. It was an absolute honor to join that team of Argus photographers in late '88 and to work with people like Leon. I think right through that death of apartheid, the stuff that Leon shot changed the country with my colleagues. And it was an amazing time to be a photojournalist and to work with people who were as passionate and as good at what they did as Leon.
Mr. Muller, me and Mr. Muller clashed a lot on photographic ideas and this, and we also clashed on I liked a whiskey and he liked a Coke. So we didn't really, so we were different in that side, but he's a very good friend and we got on really well, and I miss him, and I'm going to, and that's all I can say. That's me and Leon. He loves sport. Leon loves sport, but I think, to me, if I look at, I'm more on the news side. I thought he did very well at the Bishu thing, because it wasn't planned that it was going to turn into a nasty event, and he covered it exceptionally well. And that stuck in my mind a lot. If I can remember Leon, was the Bishu massacre.
Leon went out with me on my very first professional job. It was to the snow, so I thought it was going to be an exciting day. It was the longest day of my entire life, still today. And all I wanted to do was go home. But Leon, as we've heard from his son, is a perfectionist. So it took about 100 years to get to the snow. He wouldn't put on the aircon all the way there because it makes you sick or something like that. So I was freezing, and then when we got there we took about 1 million pictures, and he had to caption every single one afterwards. So I got home about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't think I wanted to be a journalist after that. But so it was kind of characteristic of my whole career with Leon. He was a perfectionist. I always knew how to caption pictures after that, and I will always think fondly of him.
He was very special to me. I didn't work with him in a newsroom as a journalist or anything. I was in marketing. And he was really my safe space in the building. So whenever I was having a bad day, I would just creep into the photographer's room at the Daily Voice with Uncle Leon and Buta Noah. And they always made me feel better. And I'm going to miss him very, very much.
Muller was an absolute meticulous professional. I had the privilege of working with Leon for quite a number of years, but you know, in this profession it doesn't matter where you go, you always know the best guys in the business, and he may not be with us anymore, but certainly his legacy is going to live long and proud.
You know, as a young journalist walking to the Argus newsroom, I couldn't ask for a better man to learn from and to absorb what this career is about. He will be sadly missed, and indeed, Klaas, he can rest easily knowing that he's produced an incredible body of work.